All right, and we are back with our fifth and final segment from the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just to kind of reflect on what we talked about. Make sure you catch up, on some of these videos on YouTube if you want to check those out. We had our WWE NXT review, our AEW Dynamite preview. We talked about was Bill Goldberg a good wrestler. In our fourth segment, we jumped into historic WWE botches that could have ultimately costed the career, the push, or maybe the landscape of WWE. So, obviously that could have been affected. So, guys, let's go ahead and jump right on into this Wednesday wrestling news. So, yeah, let's start. So, guys, we're going to start off first. Don't be, don't remove yourself from the screen. You are seeing what you are seeing. Liv Morgan still continues to tempt Dirty Dom. Liv Morgan continues on social media through her antics to persuade Dominic Mysterio that she wants her to be her poppy. Like it's to the point right now where I want something to kind of surface from it, but I kind of know nothing's gonna happen until maybe Ray Ripley kind of comes back. Which could be a SummerSlam. I doubt anything's gonna happen at Money in the Bank. I hope she finds a competitor to kind of fight for the WWE World Women's Heavyweight Championship. But I just Dominic Mysterio right now. It's weird. You feel like you kind of root for this guy, but at the same time, you're kind of like this kind of you kind of dug your own hole here, pal. So all this bad talk about your father being a deadbeat dad, all this it's karma. It's karma. It's coming back at you, man. You had such a great thing with mommy. But it is wrestling, professional wrestling, entertainment. Definitely love where this storyline, was kind of heading. At first, I was a little cynical about it, but I feel like it could be, I feel like it could be a lot better. It could be a lot better, and obviously it's gonna happen, pretty soon. So next we have Joe Handry. Joe Handry's NXT debut topples over AEW new signees. Um, you know, and this is combined, and the huge and highly shocking, obviously, just shows how dominant WWE is. So when Joe Handry, showed himself within the WWE NXT universe, it toppled over views such as Mercedes Moné, Will Ospreay, and also Kazuchika Okada combined. Wow, that's crazy. I believe in Joe Handry. So obviously, but you can't really blame that. I feel like it's kind of comparing apples to oranges here. At the time, WWE's is so dominant right now. Like what I was talking about on my prior podcast, that at this point, if you're a wrestling promotion trying to survive, just make sure you stay the hell out of WWE's way. Like, obviously AEW, you're doing it with Dynamite. Obviously, maybe you should be having Rampage on another thing, on another day besides Friday, and then Saturday Night Collision. But honestly, I love Joe Henry. I loved how he made his the crossover appearance on the 25-man battle royal for Trick Williams' NXT World Heavyweight Championship. The way the whole battle royal kind of ended out, I didn't really like it. So maybe that could be like a little bit of a lashback, because I really hope that I did not want Joe Henry to be the first one eliminated. I did not want Kazarian to be eliminated so quick. I kind of wanted to see just something different. I wanted to see Matt. I wanted to see Jeff. I just wanted to be shocked. Just wanted to be shocked. And I felt like, having the superstar start inside the ring, the moment WWE NXT starts, like, I guess you have to make room for your other promotions. But then you kind of had the Kaylani Jordan versus Michin Women's North American Championship match. And then you also had that triple threat match, the triple threat women's tag team match. And it all ended within an hour. So why couldn't you kind of like, as an NXT, representative or a creative mind, why couldn't you kind of have something build up to the point where you could have had a traditional battle royal, kind of like the WWE does it with the Royal Rumble, and you just make it like 30 minutes to like, 40 minutes. I feel like that, would have been awesome. Definitely would have been awesome. So yeah. Next we have former IWGP champion Shingo Tagachi was spotted on AEW Dynamite. So could ultimately be a foreshadow for him, kind of opening that forbidden door. Hopefully, maybe having a way to kind of complete a match, because I know Naito is going to fight. going to fight John Moxley at Forbidden Door, but honestly, I feel like it's going to be great. I feel like it's going to be awesome. So yeah, I feel like the IWGP Championship is constantly in balance. Shingo Tagachi is going to be absolutely dominant. Would love to see him walk through that Forbidden Door. Perhaps maybe qualify for the AEW TNT Championship, or maybe perhaps the Owen Hart Cup. That would be pretty great as well. So, definitely, is an inspiring and, very talented superstar. Next, we see Matt and Jeff Hardy. The Hardy Boys think that they can make really, really good success in TNA. I don't doubt it at this point. Obviously, how you saw TNA Impact Against All Odds and in Chicago, I feel like they have some pretty good they have some pretty good bookings for these boys. Matt Hardy's in one of he's according to an interview, I think it was with the Guardian. That wasn't it. Uh, Ringside, no, cage side seats. I think it was one of those where he said, he's in the best shape of his life. So then you have Brother Nero coming back. Hope everything's good with Jeff Hardy. Hopefully he can live up to his potential, and him and his brother can get back into the TNA World Championship, because right now the system's rocking. The system's rocking right now. Obviously, Matt Hardy, the broken Matt Hardy, can't do it on himself to dethrone Moose from the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. But hopefully, with his brother Jeff, also with Joe Handry, maybe the Nick Nemeth brother, Rick and Ryan Nemeth could, kind of help dethrone the system, because they've been on top for so dang long. But of course, you saw on Against All Odds, Dirty Dango, making his alliance with, with the system. So only time will tell. Only time will tell. Next, I have Logan Paul. Logan Paul has been highly scrutinizing the WWE for a lack of United States Championship defenses. And this doesn't really shock me. I actually agree with the YouTube star, boxer, whatever you want to call him. I agree with him 1,010%. Um, there should be United States Championship matches. Why there wasn't one at Clash of the Castle, I'm not too sure. There probably should have been one. Why did they put Cody against him at King and Queen of the Ring in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia? It's beyond me. But obviously, you kind of have the LA Knight kind of knocking on that door. You have Carmelo Hayes kind of waiting in the wakes. But it's going to be good. I feel like so far Logan Paul has kind of proved himself as a WWE champion, as of course the United States champion, and as a legitimate wrestler. So definitely not afraid to say that Logan Paul came from how he came from. A lot of people be like, oh, him and his brother, like, they're fake, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that. To a degree, to any kind of degree. I feel like they excel at what they're doing. They obviously, I feel like maybe most of it's jealousy, that people are like, oh, I want to be a WWE star, how did he do that? Or I want to be a professional boxer, how did Jake, like, you know what I mean? Like, of course, like, there's always envy. That's of course a natural human response. So a lot of us can't really look at the mirror and kind of look at the person in the mirror and be like, you've never felt envy, because you do. That's just the natural human response, and we're all guilty of it. So, definitely ride with Logan Paul with that. Next, I have Jerry the King Lawler. Jerry the King Lawler has officially stated that there was no bad blood between within WWE not signing the Legends commentary contract because of Jerry the King Lawler. Jerry the King Lawler has been going through a lot of health scares, a lot of, just kind of going through some stuff. So right now, it's kind of smart for him to kind of focus on himself, focus on his family, because especially in terms of health, that's something that you can't really BS on, can't really throw in like the lands of like maybe in the back of your head where you're like, I'll worry about that later. That's something that a lot of people kind of take for granted, is their health. Obviously there could be stuff happening. But that's not that type of podcast. So let's go ahead and move on. And lastly, you have Tony Schiavone. Tony Schiavone has recently been asked by reporters, what do you think about WWE's crossovers and cross promotions and partnerships with TNA? And Tony Schiavone said basically what I kind of knew he was going to say. He said, and I quote, what they do, meaning what they do on WWE, does not impact me at all. There's a war going on. This is not the 90s. when he said there's a war going on, like I feel like he's kind of mimicking how it was back in the term when WCW, the Monday Night War with Nitro and Nitro and Monday Night Raw, and then just this fact is like this is not the '90s. That just shows that Tony Schiavone, he understands the world of wrestling. He knows that no one's ever going to compare it to the WWE. That's something that should be that should have been nicked in the butt a long time ago. But obviously, you kind of had an egomaniac against another egomaniac. Bischoff and Vince McMahon go at each other, and they obviously Vince won ish, but imagine if WCW Nitro would have been moved to like Tuesdays or something like that, where you could have watched the same show. Like it's just crazy. It's just crazy. A lot of people, obviously there was a lot of creative, like botches in terms of, WCW during its later days when, Eric Bischoff ultimately took over as creative orders and stuff like that. And I don't know. I love Tony Schiavone. He's one of the most honest person in terms of professional wrestling. He's a great commentary guy. I've listened to him on TNA, WCW, and obviously now on All Elite Wrestling. So definitely. AEW so far, I feel like has done a really good job of staying out of the WWE's way. Hopefully, in the future of professional wrestling, WWE and AEW will explore the future together. Maybe potential, professional wrestling is becoming increasingly dynamic. Maybe there's, maybe some crossovers, maybe some partnerships amongst AEW and WWE that would be absolutely dope. That would send the wrestling world on fire because ultimately I feel like this whole, competing against each other, especially in this day and age of social media, where not a lot of people actually have cable television. So I feel like that's why WWE Raw is moving to, the likes of Netflix. It's because not a lot of people, they don't have YouTube. Not YouTube TV. Well, some people do have YouTube TV. You don't have Direct TV anymore. They don't have not Hopper. What is that? Oh my god. They don't have Time Warner or Spectrum. They also don't have Dish. It's all now streaming. We are now living in a day and age in terms of professional wrestling where the digital media is ruling the world. So obviously, to kind of abide by that, kind of find a way to kind of adapt. I feel like that's the reason why you can kind of have promotions like TNA still, kind of work. You can have promotions like Ring of Honor work. You can have promotions like New Japan Professional Wrestling. You can have the NWA streaming on the CW app every Tuesday night. And you can have AEW, doing AEW things. So, definitely a different world. Definitely it's not the same. Like Tony Schiavone said, dude, it's not the 90s. Like, you know what I mean? So, kind of get over it. So, yeah, hope you guys. So that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys liked the show. 110% love to, thank you for tuning into the show. Thank you for staying. Would love to see a little more chats, but there's tomorrow. Tomorrow, there's always tomorrow. Thank you for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show and leave a positive review here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1,010%. It really does make a difference, guys. It really does. So don't make sure you check us out on Facebook, Twitter/X, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. Like I always say, if I haven't made you a wrestling fan by now, I know the NBA playoffs are over, but my man Nelson on the GSMC Basketball Podcast always have something hot. We have the Andrew Tate Show. We also have Samantha with your one-stop shop for women's sports. We also have my man Christopher on fantasy sports. I know a lot of you guys are going to be planning for your fantasy draft for the not WWE for the NFL for the NFL season. I don't know who I'm going to pick for my first round pick. I've been kind of contemplating on taking like a kind of like someone I feel like they're not going to expect too much. I think I want to draft Marvin Harrison Jr. first round. I think I might. Like, could be wrong. Hit me up in the chat section. Tell me who's your first pick going to be. Because last year, my first pick was Travis Kelce, and he didn't really have your average, ordinary Travis Kelce kind of season, so it kind of bit me in the butt. So yeah, make sure you tune into those GSMC sports shows. Very passionate podcasters who love one thing and one thing only, like you guys do, sports. So make sure you check that out. So once again, have an amazing day. It is Hump Day. Today is Wednesday. Hope you guys are going downhill. Not downhill like as a bad thing. I know that kind of sounded dark, but hope you guys are approaching this Thursday and Friday like, oh, okay, we're heading toward the weekend. So guys, once again, absolutely love you. Thank you for tuning into my show, and hey, have a beautiful night.